Welcome. In this lecture, we're going to discuss Treemaps, that's the one on the left, and Sunburst chart. Both of them can be used to visualize hierarchal data. Hierarchal data is a dataset that has several categories and subcategories along with numerical values. So they can both be used interchangeably, and then it depends on the use case. Some people understand Treemaps, some people understand Sunburst better. So it all depends on the audience and what they are familiar with. Another point about Sunburst is it has the same setbacks as a pie chart. So when you have too many sectors in the circle, you don't want to use a pie chart. The same also, that's when you don't want to use a Sunburst chart. So in that case, a Treemap might be better. So these are two different data sets. This is the Kickstarter data set, and you can see what we have. The size of each rectangle represents the amount pledged in each subcategory. So in this subcategory, so the games, this is a category, design, technology, food, film and video. We also have subcategories. So those are the smaller rectangles in the bigger rectangles. And they are colored by a particular numeric variable. So this is what we have. We're going to build this chart in steps. Now for the Sunburst chart, this is for the tips dataset. So that was another example of an hierarchical dataset where you had information on the day of the week, the time of the day, the gender of the person giving the tip, and whether the person was a smoker or a non-smoker. So this is a Sunburst chart used to visualize that dataset. In this video, I'll show you when not to use Sunburst charts and when to use it. And yeah, let's get into the code. Before I continue with the video, I just want to tell you about this course which I recently launched on Udemy. It's called Learn Effective Data Visualization Using Plotly Express. This is by far the most comprehensive course on Plotly Express on Udemy because we go over several charts. We have loads of examples and exercises. We have different case studies in this course, and it's currently going at a discount for $12.99. But I also added 5 free coupons in the description below. So the first 5 people will be able to get access to this course for free. Every other person can buy it at a discount for $12.99. So we cover all the regular charts you'd expect: scatter plots, line plots, area plots, scroll plots, box plots, histograms, Sunburst charts, tree maps, and several more. We have several case studies, and currently it's about 5 hours long. I know you're going to enjoy it, so check in the description for the coupon codes, and I'll see you in this course. Now let's continue with the video. So I've included these data sets. We're going to use the Kickstarter data set and the tips data set. So I've included them here. I also created a new folder. I called it Py, Sunburst, and Treemaps. And I created this Python file called Kickstarter Treemaps. So I've gone ahead and passed in the data frame, the data set we want to pass it into a data frame. I imported the libraries we need. And all of this is going to be in the GitHub link, so you can always get the code from there. All we're doing here is we are going through the dataset, and that's the dataset here. Under the currency column, the currency can either be as in pounds or USD, that's US dollars. In this visualization, we're trying to see how the pledge, the amount pledged in each category in the Kickstarter data frame, is split between the different categories. So for that, let me show you what the visual is going to look like first, and then we'll achieve it. So this is what we'll start with. We'll start with this visual, and then we're going to move it to this. Okay, so this is the goal. Okay, but of course we're going to start from here and then get here. And I'm going to show you how it's done. For that, we're going to use the Treemap function in Plotly Express. And of course, I've imported Plotly Express here. So let's call it a variable name. In this case, we could say plot. We're going to call Treemap. Our Treemaps and Sunburst charts can be used interchangeably, but it also depends on how the visual looks like after you've done it. So you need to be very careful when you use a Sunburst chart instead of a Treemap. So if in doubt, you can go ahead and use a Treemap. For this, we're going to pass in the data frame. Okay, we have data frame, and we're using data frame USD because For us to compare the different categories, it has to be in a consistent currency. So we do that. Next, you specify, okay, what value do you want to visualize? And we want, let me bring this back up. We want the size of each rectangle to represent the amount pledged for that category. Okay, so you can see for games, it has a smaller one compared to tabletop games, and flight has a smaller rectangle compared to hardware under the technology category. So these bigger boxes are the main categories. The smaller ones are the subcategories. And this is where tree maps can be very useful. They help you in visualizing hierarchical data. So we want information on pledged amount. Let's just say value, pledged amount. For tree maps and Sunburst charts, you need to specify the path as well. So the path is expected to be a list of the different hierarchy, the names of the hierarchy columns in your data set. So in this case, we first want main cat. So let's do this show function. Let's see what that comes out as. So this is what it looks like. This is what it is. You can see you have, these are the main categories on Kickstarter for this data set. You have the games, you have the design, film and video, technology, music, publishing, food, fashion. And the smaller ones, you have dance, crafts, and of course you have art and the rest. So these are the main categories in the Kickstarter dataset. Now for this, what we want is we want to be able to break each main category into smaller categories. Now looking at this, you can see that technology has, a very big chunk of the amount that is pledged. I can say that by just, looking at this. It's between technology, games, and design. Three of them have, like the top three amount that is pledged. But we can break it down further, and that's what we're going to do. So let's break it down further. Let's add another part. And this time we want information on category. Let's run this again. Okay, this is what you have. So you can see under the technology section, hardware contains the largest percentage of what's pledged. Under the games main category, you have the tabletop games subcategory, and you can see that it has the largest in the game section. So if we were to look at the entire visual, you can see that the largest subsection is product design, and it has the largest amount pledged. So the reason for this could be that certain subcategories are just much more expensive than the others. That could be the reason. So for us to validate that, we can add color attributes and highlight what the goals for each category and subsection on average is. So let's get that information here. With most Plotly Express charts, you are able to easily put information on colors for most of the charts in Plotly Express. So we'll do that here. Let me show you the goal. So let's do that. Goal. So let's see how the visual transforms with that information. Okay, so this is what it is. You can see for the most part, most of all the subsections have goals that are pretty minimal. They're not too much. You can see here they're in the blue end of it, but there are some subcategories that stand out. For example, in the video games section, you can see that the goal is this amount, almost 500,000. You can see that that's what the goals for that section actually is. The total, that's the total. Then when you look at television, television is on the yellow spectrum in terms of color. That shows that the goal for television projects on Kickstarter tends to be the highest. Again, that's what you have. You can see different colors on average. You can see just the different colors. Well, let's see product and design. Surprisingly, the amount total goal for this section is not that expensive compared to the others. So this is how we came from this. We added a part here, we got this, and finally we got this. The question we can now ask ourselves is, does it make sense to show this as a Sunburst chart? So let's try it out and see. Remember I said Sunburst charts and tree maps can be used interchangeably. So let's just change this. Every other thing stays the same. We just change the function to Sunburst. Okay, let's run this. Now you can see how it looks like. So you ask yourself, between this and this, which would you pick? For me, I'm going to pick this one, right? Because it contains more space. I can see all the information very easily. Meanwhile here, because there are way too many subcategories, it just becomes, some of them are very difficult to see. So the same setback that the pie chart will have is the same setback that the Sunburst chart would have. So since this is a bad example for a Sunburst chart, let's pick a good example for a Sunburst chart. Let's just change this back to tree map. So we can run this. Tips Sunburst. Now if you do check my course on Udemy, in the description below, I go through lots and lots of all of these visuals. So it'd be a good idea to check it out. I have a free coupon code down there and a discounted coupon code as well. Okay, let's go here. So the tips, since we're going to use a lot of this, let's copy this part. Just copy it and save ourselves the time. Okay. Okay, we can run this. Okay, this is not part of it anymore. My bad. So we added just one element to the path list, and this is what it looks like. This is supposed to be a Sunburst chart, but of course, it looks like a pie chart right now. So we can break it down further. So you can see that this is, on Saturday, people get the most tip. Next to Sunday, although the difference isn't much, the least day is a Friday. Let's see how we can now divide this further into time of the day. All we have to do is just add that to the path list. Time. Okay, so come here. Okay, so you can see on Sundays, all the tip comes from dinner. On Saturday, all the tips come from dinner. It's possible on Saturday and Sunday, there is no lunch option. On Friday, it's split up between lunch and dinner. Then on Thursday is majorly lunch. Lots of people come in for lunch and give tips. So we can split this even further by the gender. So do men give more tip than women in this data set? We could also split it by whether you're a smoker or a non-smoker. So let's just do gender first and then smoker. To do that, we come here. Okay. Let's run this. Now you can see it changes drastically. So starting from here, we see that Sunday, people only come for dinner. but you have more male than female. Then among the male, most of them are non-smokers. Same with the female, most of them are non-smokers. If you check for Saturday, only dinner, more male than female, most of them are non-smokers. So you get the idea. This is a valuable use of Sunburst chart. Now, as an exercise, you can go ahead and reproduce this same chart as a tree map. And we actually did that in the course. So these are just some of the things we do in the course on Udemy. So yeah, let me compare this to... So there you have it, a tree map and Sunburst chart. Now, both of them can be used to represent hierarchal data. So that's data that has like categories and subcategories and then numeric values. So you can see both of them can actually, be used interchangeably. But you have to be careful on which one you pick. If you're in doubt, you can go ahead and use a tree map because it has greater space. It's most likely going to represent your visual better than a Sunburst chart. So there you have it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to check the description below for the free coupon to my brand new course on Plotly Express. I'll see you there and have a great day.